World Suicide Prevention Day. On the 10th day of September 2020, SALMHI Save and Love Mental Health Initiative organized a press conference and awareness campaign tagged Working Together to Prevent Suicide at University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital UPTH, Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria. The founder of the NGO known as SALMHI Save and Love Mental Health Initiative, Sir Amos Daminabo at Boyedea, gave a predefined objective of this World Suicide Prevention Day.
Open suicide, not secret. Open suicide, not secret. That's why we have this sticker. Because we've discovered that a lot of people close suicide. Even when they have family members who want to attempt or that are suicidal, they conceal it within themselves until the person actually commits or take the act. And they said, he has been saying this for the past 1 month. To join us by 8 p.m. light a candle by your window to commemorate those who have committed suicide, those who have attempted but are still alive, and those who may want to attempt, and pray for them. When you do that, help us. If you can, take a photograph of yourself, send it to us. We will all collect ours and send it to the International Federation of World Suicide Prevention, so that we can all have our pictures on that page. That today, 10th September, we all work together to prevent suicide in Rivers State, in Nigeria, in Africa, and in the world. So we call on you to please do this. Our flyers, our numbers are there, our social media handles are there. You can just send it to any of them, and we assure you that it won't be more than tomorrow. Your picture will get to them. It will get to World Health Organization to say that today you join others. You work with everyone together to prevent suicide. Thank you, and God bless.
During the press conference, Professor Prince Chukwuemeka Stanley, member board of advisors to Councillor, elucidated on the topical theme, Working Together to Prevent Suicide.
I welcome all of you, particularly the men of the media, which includes the females, for this great occasion. It affords me a great pleasure to speak on this matter of mental health challenges, and particularly today, recalling that we have the Suicide Prevention Day according to the timetable of the World Health Organization. It's unfortunate that before now we had tried as much as possible to sweep the issues relating to mental health under the carpet until today that we are all awfully challenged. So I thank you for bracing to this occasion and being here today to understand the basics about the need for a fully functional mental strength and ability for an individual. Today we are marking the day for preventing suicide. I would like to start simply by saying that suicide refers to self-termination. When an individual decides willfully, takes on a very fatal activity aimed at terminating one's life. That is referred to suicide. And when that activity is not completed, we refer to it as attempted suicide. And suicide in the past was not considered an issue in the African communities, including that within the sub-Saharan Africa. Those days we found those things very strange, and it could lead to ostracism of the entire family of any person who was found to have committed suicide. It was a taboo. So when it even occurred, it was rather concealed to avoid family segregation from the community. Before now, we are aware that it's been very, very common in the Europe and America, and equally particularly within the Asian continent. But today, we are seeing a new narrative that suicide, which used to be less than 1% within the sub-Saharan Africa, has grown beyond 7% of the general population. While in the advanced world of the Europe and America, you still have it surging higher. But one thing is baffling. Suicide occurs more with the older age. But today, there is a narration that is showing a weightier concentration of this population amongst the younger persons. It has been seen much more among males than females. But today, the balance is shaken because number of females who have been seen committing or attempting to commit suicide is also in a very clear increase. We have seen that there are issues that we need to look at if we are truly rising to the occasion to begin to ask what can be done to put a stop or reduce the incidence and prevalence of suicide in our society. Therefore, we must look at the etiological factors. We know that most importantly, suicide occurs, one, due to mental ill health, emotional disorders. The one that comes topmost to our mind is depressive illness, followed by schizophrenic illness, then personality disorders, and also the drug and substance use disorder. Various types of drug use has increased the prevalence and incidence of suicide. There are other factors. Those who have what we call enduring stressors, difficulties with life, maybe repeated failures to achieve a landmark, whether through academic or exam failure, multiple exam failures, multiple failures at interviews to gain a job, multiple failures in probably areas where you need to be taken for one business or the other, multiple failures at home front, inability to marry and sustain a wife and husband, or even other activities at work. And persons will say, I'm tired of life. That's why we call it enduring stressors, things that you can no longer endure. And they said the best approach is to take my life. Others could be due to excruciating pains, due to chronic illness, amputees, long-standing stroke patients, and those who felt abandoned and discriminated against and even stigmatized. They could go ahead and commit suicide. these are some of the issues that if you now ask today, why is there a sudden increase? Yes, this is before the advent of COVID-19 pandemic. There have been a lot and mounting pressure of economic difficulties. Persons who are at work are no longer working. Disunity amongst the various subunits of homes and families. So today we have found ourselves in what is looking like a post-COVID posture of what we will see, that the economy of our nation is shrinking further. And the economists have analyzed, and as I read 2 days ago, they say we are entering one of the worst recessions in the history of the country. So these are frightening comments in a place that you know that we are already shaken, and persons who were previously before able to get some little money in their pockets are now without any hope to have anything called salary at the end of the month. So why would this not increase? I am not, by this statement of facts, encouraging persons to go on to commit suicide, but I'm beginning to highlight the obvious before us so that we are able to appreciate the enormity of what faces us in the near future. 2 days ago, we saw a young girl, a University of Port Harcourt student, who was shot at about 8 p.m. within Arlo, where she lives. A final year student who had come back reading in preparation for the exams. What was her crime? She had a bag. They say, give me that bag. She gave them. And give me the other phone. And she did. And they now shot her and moved. 2 young men, point blank, shot at her Achilles and the left foot. And thank God she was helped by good Samaritans, and she was rushed down there. And then with the intervention of the team on ground, she's quite safe today. She's really been attended to by both the orthopedics and the reconstructive and plastic surgery. It's the time for our governments and the people to come together, to sit on a table and openly, without any form of malingering, begin to put 1 and 2 on the issues of social welfare packages that is clearly open and seen to be transparently prudent, so that the persons who have become members and citizens of this community we call Nigeria should truly look at themselves and say, yes, I'm a Nigerian. Not a situation where persons are not sure what their nationality could be because of suffering. This is the time we have to call. The narratives have to start changing to the effect that there should be a very clear-cut economic policy that will address issues of social welfare in the land, so that we can have a declining figure in the mental health challenges. As we speak today, if you take what we call the statistics of persons who are depressed in Nigeria, what we know the previous figure by research is 7 to 10%, but today I can tell you it will not be less than 20%. Depression is escalating on a daily basis. because the pressures are mounting. They are not easing. The lockdown may have been eased, but the economic operation has not eased. So this is the time for us to act. Having looked at the various parameters that could actually lead to suicide, if they are addressed and palliative are given in such a manner that is transparent, that people will be able to be sustained through these very hard and turbulent times, we'll have a better society where every man will have every cause to rejoice. Thank you very much.
Likewise, the HOD of Mental Health Department of the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital and the deputy contributed to the World Suicide Prevention Day.
Chairman Mark, University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, Professor PC Stanley, who also happens to be my boss in the Department of Mental Health. We also call it Neuropsychiatry at the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital. The DCMAC Special Project, Dr. Uchebi, the convener and founder of Save and Love Mental Health Initiative, and his team, media people. I want to sincerely thank you people for finding time to be part of awareness for the World Mental Health, World Suicide Prevention Day. I also want to sincerely thank my boss for inviting me to be part of this press briefing, which happens to be a very big way of creating awareness. He has actually given a detailed exposition about why we are gathered here today. That is, suicide has remained a topical issue, and the need for collaboration and commemoration about the day. Of course, you know that the International Association for Suicide Prevention, working in collaboration with the World Health Association and the Federation for World Mental Health, actually took out 10th of November, September every year for creating awareness and to reinstate our commitment for prevention of suicide worldwide. And that's why we are here, and this has been ongoing since 2003. Now, in the past 2 years, they have chosen this topic, working together to prevent suicide, and it has been on since last year, and this only God knows why they have not changed the thing. And we must say that the recent event, health event globally, has further given prominence, which of course we know, that's the COVID-19 pandemic, since about 8 months, about 9 months ago. It is important to note, just like he has said, that suicide is any attempt one makes on him or herself to take his or her life. If such an attempt is made and is half-hearted, not completed, it's attempted suicide. The demographic have been changing, as he has said. Currently we know that about 800,000 cases of suicide are recorded figures by the World Health Organization every year. This is to say that every second about 40 persons commit suicide, and they have further gone to explain to us that for each person that commits suicide, about another 20 people have attempted. We know before now that it has usually been age-related, as in commoner among the it increases with age. But like he has said, recently the demographic has been changing. It's now becoming a worse hit by the youth. Currently, it is said that suicide is third cause of death among the youth. It's followed by road accident and maternal-related causes. So suicide is the third. And we are also told that about 79% of cases of suicide occur in the low-income countries, which Nigeria happens to be one. So you can see the problem we are in. Now, seeing this and receiving organizations like yours, which has shown tremendous interest in the fight against not only mental health issue, but how to prevent suicide, we cannot but welcome you wholeheartedly and join our effort with you and encourage you the way we can. So you are most welcome. And we want to encourage you that this type of initiative, which is geared to build resilience and then create awareness about mental health disorders, reducing the taboo surrounding it, which he has said, that has been the main problem, and also to raise hope among those that have problems and thinking about suicide, to connect, communicate with them, and then to care. That's the 3 C's. It's the way to go to make progress in preventing suicide. On this note, I want to encourage you and then to say that the work you have started, you should continue, and it's recent, in no distant time, you will get a tremendous result. Thank you very much.
Professor Kingsley Stanley, the founder of SALMHI, Ganlabo, am I right?
Yes.
And his team of counselors and experts. It gladdens my heart today, though I'm basically surprised to be part of this gathering this morning on a very topical issue in the world, not just our own society, in the world today. That there are a group of persons, especially in the non-medical field, that will think about suicide and begin to act in terms of not just advocacy for prevention, but also for amelioration. It is heartwarming. I think this is the kind of collaboration that we need. And how I wish that you're a member of the House of Assembly and the House of Representatives and Senate, so that messages like this can be taken to places where it could be heard. I think the question of suicide is a multi-dimensional problem. It's a serious health challenge in any society. The causes of suicide arise from causes that oppress each and every one of us and humanity as a whole, ranging from poverty, neglect of the underprivileged, neglect of society, neglect of our children, neglect of our economy, neglect of our environment. You can all see what is happening worldwide. Flood is washing away people's houses, people's farms, further deepening the economic depression. So it is a multi-dimensional problem that has so many tentacles. And for you to think about it is a call to arms for us as a nation, as humanity, to look at those challenges and actually drive suicide and the causes of suicide. Suicide is just an outlet. If we're able to handle the other things that fire it, I think it will reduce, because they are all part of human feelings and human suffering and human feelings. So I want to thank you and your team for bringing the reality to us, and I will enjoin all of us to actually rise to the occasion and give you every necessary support. I know my chief has been doing a lot with his team. The drug problem in the country is escalating. The drug problem is not just a question of people wanting. The drug problem is can even be as old as, in the ancient times. I was looking and listening to CNN a few days ago, or BBC, and I was shocked to hear how nations were actually encouraging the drug trade across other nations. Britain particularly was encouraging drug trade to China. And if you watch the way the drug trade is, you will see that countries are behind it. That is why I say that if this was in the political arena, to have greater influence, the government must look into what is happening in the drug business. It doesn't just come like that. Just like they are looking into other things. These are the things that create some of these problems. So I want to thank you and your team. I want to thank my chief for always supporting such initiatives. Thank you very much. God bless you.
And they also entertained some questions from the press team.
The organization, what effort have they made to meet with the state government?
Our organization is a country-wide organization. For now, we have not met with River State Ministry of Health or River State government, but we can tell you that we have met with all the hospitals that are in charge of mental health. We've met with neuropsychiatric at Rumogo. We have met with University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital. We have met with private hospital, mental health hospital owners, and we discussed with them on the fairer cases, on collaboration, on how we can end it. In Abuja, we have collaborated with UPTH, Federal Capital Territory. As soon as the schools are open, they've given us a slot to do teen suicide prevention. Universal Basic Education Board. So we have been given permit to do teen suicide prevention in schools, where we will talk with school children. We're in partnership with the only mental health hospital in Abuja at Kura, Federal Medical Center. So we're in partnership with them. We are also working to see how we can take it to the National House of Assembly and discuss with them so that we can form a collaboration with them and see that mental health illness is not destigmatized in Nigeria and is not said to the bar, because we believe that there is no health without mental health. Anywhere your health issue is coming from, it has to start with mental health. Because if you are not normal upstairs, then whatever be the case, you are not normal.
Can you give me statistics of recent cases of attempted suicide? I know that we have been bringing people of such condition. Can you give me statistics of such?
Suicide attempt. Of course, the only people we can see there are those who cases of attempted suicide, those who have actually
Survived.
Who have survived. Yes. So the statistics we have witnessed like over 0.5% increase in the number that used to be about 4 or 5 years ago. And basically what they come with now is ingestion of chemicals, toxins, particularly insecticide, then followed by hanging and then firearms. So basically what it used to be, well, probably 1 to 5% has increased now to about 7 to 7.5% of cases of attempted suicide when compared to the total number of people presenting in our world.
If you look at recently, we have a lot of cases on campus as a result of emotional tourism. How can the modern days youth, teenagers, because of relationship and emotional tourism, stay away or abstain yourself from this suicide?
United States of America, that was about the 1980s. There was a time they saw a sustained increase in suicide rates among the teenagers, and they called it copycat suicide, as was reported by one David Schaffer. Then, what was it? These youths looked at a film series where the person who now was a hero committed suicide. So all of them wanted to play the music and dance the music of a hero by also committing suicide. And that was how the government was able to see that, was this the cause of this? And the moment those films were removed from circulation, that hike dropped. Unfortunately, today, we don't have any policy or law that governs the exposure of youths to the internet. A child of 5 years now who has the phone knows how to connect. You say social media, this and that, Facebook, Instagram, all sorts of things. You have the WhatsApp, anywhere they go to, they look at, they have unlimited access to any form of information, including the ones that will tell them to commit suicide. Because when you open these things, they may show you that carrot is the thing that cures hypertension. And people will go and buy carrot and start eating and eating. They may even have carotenemia. So we must have a law that will be active and effective and implementable to be able to pursue most of these things. Could from time to time be minimized, but people will now begin to talk about human rights. So there is a price for everything. We must have a graduated form of exposure for these children. When we were growing up, people are quite young, these things were not, everything was not exposed. Things were done stepwise. You will discover now that children are no longer interested in saying, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a medical doctor, I want to be a pharmacist, I want to be a nurse, a medical officer. Every person wants to be a musician or a blogger or artist. So they don't just want to do any reasonable thing because they are so overwhelmed by the volume of uncontrollable access with this that pictures the whole world. So by the time you know that these are impressionable minds, these minds are not mature children. So whatever they see, they say that's the one they want to be, that one. The other one they now see, when they now see pornography, they say, I want to be doing pornography. So their minds keep moving about, and from there they enter into drug and substance use. And from there, there's no achievement. Today they want to read this, tomorrow they want to read another today, and that will be the end comes. You'll be looking for Satan who is troubling them. This is the Satan. If we can minimize access for children, they will be able to concentrate, because you don't know the volume of information negatively they have acquired from this. This pictures the world. They say the world is a global village. That is it. So it's very important for us to have regulations, rules, laws.
He finally charged the government and other corporate bodies to support and encourage this NGO for massive awareness.
Good afternoon.
Please, sir, can you tell us your name?
Okay, my name is Sir Damnabo Amos at Boedia. I'm the founder, Sahil. Sahil simply means Save and Love Mental Health Initiative. Sahil. Yes, Save and Love Mental Health Initiative was actually founded after we saw what was done, what our neighbors in South Africa are doing to mental health. Last year I was in South Africa for a visit, and I happened to meet South African Depression and Anxiety Group, and I saw how far they've been able to curtail mental health in South Africa, how they have assisted a lot of people who do not have the resources to take care of themselves through mental health, how they have created awareness so that everyone who needs to visit a medical professional will visit, and what they have done to mental health is absolutely fantastic. And when I came back, I decided that what they are doing, we will also practice it here in Nigeria and see how we can help mental health illness in Nigeria, because there is no health without mental health. All health starts with mental health. So we are here to save and love mental health, basically to educate, basically for advocacy, and for people to phone in so that we can discuss our problems and to destigmatize mental health in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. So tell us how you feel about today's event.
Well, today's event is unique and superb. I feel so great and happy because this is actually our first public acting like this, and we are giving a very good welcome by the hospital community, by the medical profession, by the health sector, and by the general public. So we feel so great, we are happy, and we believe that with this welcome we will reach more persons in the country and we will save mental health in Nigeria.
Various interviews were carried out on global suicide prevention, and some members from the SALMHI organization also expressed their feelings based on this suicide awareness.
Today being the World Suicide Prevention Day, can you tell us the causes and how we can overcome suicide?
The causes of the suicide is depression and anxiety. So many of us might be passing through a lot, and I feel that to be more advisable, you open up. Stop keeping secrets to yourselves. Just open up and talk to people. If you reach out to us, that's the SALMHI, we'll profile a solution to you. And in a worst case scenario, when it is now a worse illness, we will not do a referral to the doctors. But we educate and advocate.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Today being World Suicide Prevention Day, SALMHI is trying to join the world by adding their voice to tell Nigerians that today, with the condition of the country, a lot of things are actually happening. The country is passing through a lot presently, but we want to encourage Nigerians to ensure that we talk ourselves out of depression, out of anxiety, out of the challenges we are passing through today in Nigeria, and believe there's a better future for us. There's hope. We believe in it. Thank you very much. Like I said in the press conference, I said before now, when we were growing up, we used to know Nigeria. We used to hear this slang that Nigerians are happy people. But today, I can tell you for free that Nigeria, we have more Nigerians who are depressed because of the style of leadership and the way the country is going. But we want to use this medium to appeal to the government. Despite the difficulties in managing their affairs, they should look at the social welfare of Nigerians. You can imagine a government at a time like this telling us that there is justification for why electricity tariff should go up, there's a reason why petrol payments should go up. Those are not things that Nigerians need now. People are still challenged with COVID, passing through a lot of issues around their health. So we want to appeal to the government. They should look into social amenities, look into the welfare of Nigerians to reduce people trying to attempt suicide or trying to terminate their life for one reason or the other. You're welcome.
Today being World Suicide Prevention Day, can you tell us how we can overcome and prevent suicide?
Well, the only way we can overcome and prevent suicide, there are many ways we could do that. Like when we are having our section, somebody talked about self-help. It is very important as individuals because something has transcended and then come down to the level of individuals where there is depression. And this depression comes in a way of people overthinking. And because of the economic condition of the country, the family condition have led people can no longer eat 3 square meals a day. People can no longer clothe themselves. Some are unemployed. They cannot get good job.
Special project, meaning a deputy chairman medical advisory committee, special projects and linkages, surgeon, my specialty. But I want to say that work by your NGO, we save and love mental health initiative. It's a world initiative. The world is beset by so many problems which has militated against human existence, and this has driven so many persons, adults, into suicide, depression and suicide. People feel that they are failed, people feel that the world has left them, people feel that they can no longer move on, either due to illness, due to the economy, for many reasons. Even our youths now are having rising cases of suicide and suicidal tendency. And what sort of drug addiction and use of substances has escalated this phenomenon. So the work by your NGO body to raise awareness, develop those, and redirect our energies into those things that will reduce suicide. So I want to join all well-meaning Nigerians, corporate bodies, and individuals, including the government officials and politicians, to see this as something that they need to assist ensure that suicidal tendencies in the society is brought to a minimum. It's a mental health issue and must be brought to the fore and brought to the barest minimum. So this is my admonition to our citizens. Thank you very much. God bless.
The advice I have for them, they should that committing suicide does not help matters. So they should always remember that there is God that can take over their bodies. They should not allow their bodies to lead them to what they are not supposed to do.
So those people that don't have help, that are motherless, what support can the government do for them?
Is to provide help for them. Is to go to their work and to make a way to reach out to them. At least to ask them one or two things that they lack. Then if they can be able to provide one or two things so that it can bring down this suicidal.
Remember that people who are thinking about suicide feel alone and isolated and often feel like no one understands how they feel. Changes in life may be upsetting and they may want to escape a difficult problem or situations or give relief from terrible stress. Once again, welcome to PMI TV Port Harcourt. Don't keep suicide a secret. Talk about it. Get help. And remember that you can fight depression and win it. I'm Amone Promise X, PMI TV Port Harcourt.